All right, let's get right into it because this is a huge one. It's that feeling. You're posting, you're getting some likes, you're doing what you think you're supposed to be doing, but your business, it's just not growing. So today, we are going to break down exactly why that's happening to so many people and talk about the one big shift that can change absolutely everything. I mean, does this sound familiar? You are putting in the effort, week in, week out. You see the likes, maybe a few comments pop up, but then you look at your calendar and it is just crickets. No new calls booked, no real client inquiries coming in. If that is you, trust me, you are not alone and you're in exactly the right place.
So let's talk about this disconnect, right? The massive gap between all that social media activity and actual real-world business results. And to make this really hit home, I want to tell you a story that might sound, well, a little too familiar. Let's talk about Sarah.
Okay, so look at Sarah's stats. She's doing everything the so-called gurus tell you to do. She's consistent, posting multiple times a week, the content looks professional, client wins, industry news. Hey, her follower count is even climbing. But look at that last line, the only line that actually matters for her business, and it's a big fat zero. It's just not working.
And this leads to all those feelings we know so well, that burnout, trying to dream up another post idea, the guilt when you're just too busy with actual client work to post for a week, and that nagging feeling that you're just kind of copying what bigger accounts are doing and it doesn't feel like you. But here's the thing, these aren't the actual problem. They are just the symptoms of something much, much deeper.
So what is this deeper problem? Well, it actually has a name. It's called the personal IP trap. And I promise, once you see how this thing works, a huge light bulb is going to go off. You'll see exactly why your content isn't connecting, and most importantly, what to do about it.
And this definition just nails it. It's a cycle, right? You're on this hamster wheel. You post, you get a few likes, you get no business, so you panic and try to post something else, and the whole cycle just repeats. It is a ton of effort for, you guessed it, pretty much zero return.
Okay, so here's mistake number one, and it's the biggest one. The trap starts because we're asking the wrong question. We wake up and ask a tactical question. What should I post today? But the right question is always strategic. Wait a minute, who am I actually trying to help? When you start there, every post has a purpose, instead of just being more noise.
And part two of the trap is looking at what everyone else is doing. We see these huge influencers and think, well, if it works for them, it'll work for me. But their audience is not your audience. Their goals are not your goals. Instead of trying to copy their style, the real magic happens when you analyze your own little corner of the world and find your unique angle.
And now we've got AI in the mix, which makes this trap even easier to fall into. Most people use it like a content vending machine. Hey, ChatGPT, write me a post. And you get back something, well, generic. The smart way to use AI is as a research partner. Feed it your customer testimonials and ask, what are the common themes and pain points here? Now that's using AI to find gold, not just create more noise.
So, if we're asking the wrong questions and copying the wrong people, how do we get out of this mess? We have to stop guessing and start building on a solid foundation. We've seen the problem, we've named the trap, now let's talk about the way out.
And this right here, this is the mindset shift that changes the game. If you've been feeling frustrated, please hear this. The problem isn't how hard you're working, it's not your expertise, it's the method. You've been treating your personal brand like a creative hobby when you need to be treating it like a product. And guess what? Successful products are never, ever built on guesswork.
They all start right here. Think about it. Before a company like Apple even thinks about designing a new iPhone, they do tons of market analysis. They need to know what people actually want, what the competition is missing, and where the real opportunity is. Your personal brand is your product. It deserves that exact same strategic thinking.
So what does market analysis even mean? It's not as complex as it sounds, I promise. It really boils down to 3 simple steps. First, you get laser-focused on one specific group of people. Second, you become an expert on them, their biggest problems, the exact words they use, where they hang out. And third, you look at the competition and find that little gap, that white space where you can be the only logical choice. Now, I know this all sounds good in theory, but the big question is, does it actually work? Well, let's look at what happens when a real business stops throwing content at the wall and starts with analysis. So this is I2B Properties. They were in a super crowded market where basically every competitor was saying the exact same thing. And just like Sarah, they were posting consistently, but they just weren't getting any real traction.
But then they did the market analysis we just talked about. And look at this chart. Just look at that shift. They went from a couple hundred views on their videos to over 10,000. That's a 50x jump. But hey, as we've already established, views don't pay the bills, right? What about the results that actually matter?
This is the number that changes a business. A 300% increase in qualified client inquiries. I have to stress that word qualified. These were people ready to talk business because the content had already done all the heavy lifting of building trust and showing them why ID Properties was different.
So how on earth did they do it? This table tells the whole story. Look at the before. Super generic, right? But after, it's hyper-specific. Their analysis showed them their clients weren't just investors, they were parents worried about their kids' futures. So the content completely changed from boring property listings to guides that answered their real, deep questions. It's brilliant.
The story of ID Properties is so powerful because it proves this isn't luck, it's not magic, it's a system. So let's bring this back and talk about what this path can look like for you.
Here's the bottom line. Your effort is not the problem. Your expertise is not the problem. The only thing standing between you and a predictable flow of leads is moving away from random acts of content and adopting a real system. A system that is built on that foundation of market analysis.
Look, we've really just scratched the surface here today. The article this explainer is based on actually gives you the entire framework, including a full 30-day action plan to get this done. It shows you exactly how to do the analysis and build your content from there. So if you're ready to stop guessing and start building, I really recommend you check it out.
So let's just end on this thought. You are already doing the hard work. You're already putting in the hours. The only question now is, are you going to keep pouring all that incredible energy into a model that's broken? Or are you finally ready to build a system that can deliver the results you actually deserve?
If this topic resonates with you, don't forget to comment below, give this video a like, share with fellow business owners, and hit subscribe to stay updated with more actionable business insights.